In the picturesque village of Ashura, where the sun dipped into the horizon and painted the sky with hues of crimson and gold, Princess Adah was born. As the only child of the king and queen, she was expected to be a beautiful and robust princess. However, from birth, Adah was extremely skinny, with a frail frame and dry skin that made her the subject of whispers and stares throughout the village. The villagers would often gossip and point fingers, wondering why the king's daughter was so skinny. "She's as dry as a bony fish," one villager would say, while another would whisper, "The title princess doesn't befit her at all." Adah grew up and heard the cruel comments, but she never confronted anyone. Instead, she prayed to the gods to make her fat and beautiful. Just like the other girls in the village, Adah tried everything to gain weight, from eating juicy chicken and eggs to fufu and soups filled with proteins. However, no matter how much she ate, she never gained weight. Her parents, the king and queen, consoled her and told her not to worry. But Adah couldn't help feeling sad and inadequate. She would often cry and ask the gods why she was so skinny and ugly. The king, worried about his daughter's happiness, decided to take matters into his own hands. He sent the town crier to announce that whoever married Adah would inherit half of his wealth and take charge of the kingdom until a crown prince was born. As soon as the announcement was made, suitors from all over the kingdom flocked to the palace, asking for Adah's hand in marriage. However, Adah was not impressed. She knew they were only after her father's wealth and power. Feeling disgusted and irritated by their desperation and pretense, Adah decided to take matters into her own hands. She packed a small bag and told her parents she was going to find true love. "Papa and Mama, I'm going to find my true soulmate," she said, her eyes shining with determination. "The one who will make my heart beat, the one who will love me for who I am. Please give me your blessings. I promise to return soon." The king and queen were saddened by their daughter's decision, but they gave her their blessings and wished her farewell. Adah thanked them and set off on her journey, determined to find true love and happiness. She traveled to a faraway village, where she started living as a commoner. The villagers stared at her in surprise, and some even laughed and mocked her. But Adah didn't let their cruel words get to her. She kept her head held high and focused on finding her true love. One day, while she was fetching firewood, she met a handsome young man named Obi. Obi offered to assist her, and she agreed. That was the start of their friendship, and soon they were spending all their time together. Obi was kind and gentle, and he never asked Adah unnecessary questions. He accepted her for who she was, skinny and all. And Adah found herself falling deeply in love with him. As they sat together under the stars, Obi would tell Adah stories of his childhood and his dreams for the future. Adah would listen, entranced, feeling like she had finally found her true soulmate. But little did Obi know, the girl he had fallen in love with was actually a princess. And little did Adah know, Obi had a secret of his own, one that would change everything. As the days turned into weeks, Princess Adah and Obi's friendship blossomed into a romance that neither of them could ignore. They spent hours exploring the village, laughing together, and sharing secrets. Obi showed Princess Adah the hidden gems of the village, from the secret waterfalls to the ancient trees that whispered secrets to the wind. Princess Adah, in turn, shared her love of stories with Obi. She would tell him stories about the ancient lifestyles and traditions, and Obi would listen, entranced, as the words came alive in his imagination. As they spent more time together, Princess Adah found herself falling deeply in love with Obi. She loved the way he smiled, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners, and the way his hair curled slightly at the nape of his neck. Obi, too, had fallen deeply in love with Princess Adah. He loved her kindness, her intelligence, and her beauty. He loved the way she laughed, the way her eyes sparkled, and the way her skin glowed in the sunlight. But despite their deepening feelings for each other, Princess Adah and Obi never spoke of love. They never spoke of the future or of what might be. They simply lived in the present, enjoying each other's company and the beauty of the world around them. One day, as they sat together on a hill overlooking the village, Obi turned to Princess Adah and asked her about her past. "Where did you come from?" he asked, his eyes curious. "What brought you to our village?" Princess Adah hesitated, unsure of how much to reveal. She had kept her true identity a secret, afraid of being rejected or ridiculed. But as she looked into Obi's eyes, she saw only kindness and compassion there. "I came from a faraway kingdom," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I was born into a life of luxury and privilege, but I was never happy. I was always different, always an outcast. So I left, seeking a new life and a chance to find true happiness." Obi listened, entranced, as Princess Adah spoke of her childhood and her journey to the village. He saw the pain and the sadness in her eyes, and his heart went out to her. "I'm glad you came here," he said, taking her hand in his. "I'm glad I got to meet you." Princess Adah smiled, feeling a sense of peace and belonging that she had never known before. "I'm glad too," she said, her voice filled with emotion. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the village, Princess Adah and Obi sat together in comfortable silence. They watched as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, and they felt their hearts beating as one. In that moment, Princess Adah knew that she had found her true love. She knew that she would never let him go, and that she would spend the rest of her life making him happy. And Obi, too, knew that he had found his soulmate. He knew that he would love Princess Adah forever, and that he would do anything to make her happy. As the night wore on, Princess Adah and Obi sat together, lost in their own little world of love and happiness. They knew that they would face challenges and obstacles in the future, but they were ready to face them together. And so, with their hearts full of love and their spirits full of hope, Princess Adah and Obi drifted off to sleep, surrounded by the beauty and magic of the night. As the days turned into weeks, Princess Adah and Obi's love for each other continued to grow. They spent every waking moment together, exploring the village and the surrounding countryside. But despite their deepening love, Obi seemed to be hiding something from Princess Adah. She couldn't quite put her finger on it, but she sensed that there was more to Obi than met the eye. One day, as they sat together on a hill overlooking the village, Obi turned to Princess Adah with a serious expression. "Adah, I have something to tell you," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "Something that could change everything between us." Princess Adah's heart skipped a beat as she wondered what Obi could possibly reveal. "What is it?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Obi took a deep breath before speaking. "I'm not who you think I am," he said, his eyes locked on Princess Adah's. "I'm not a commoner from this village. I'm actually a prince from a faraway land." Princess Adah's jaw dropped in shock. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "A prince," she repeated, her voice shaking with surprise. Obi nodded, a sheepish grin spreading across his face. "I know it's a lot to take in," he said. "But I wanted to be honest with you. I wanted to tell you the truth about who I am." Princess Adah was stunned, but as she looked into Obi's eyes, she saw the same kind and gentle soul she had fallen in love with. "Why did you keep it a secret?" she asked, her curiosity getting the better of her. Obi shrugged. "I wanted to get to know you without the burden of my royal title. I wanted to see if you would love me for who I am, not just for my wealth and status." Princess Adah smiled, feeling a sense of relief wash over her. "I love you for who you are, Obi," she said. "Not for your title or your wealth." Obi's face lit up with joy, and he pulled Princess Adah into a tight hug. "I'm so glad to hear that," he said, his voice muffled against her shoulder. As they hugged, Princess Adah knew that she had made the right decision in trusting Obi. She knew that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle, including the secrets they had kept from each other. A few days later, Obi took Princess Adah to his village, where he introduced her to his family. His parents, the king and queen, were stunned by Princess Adah's physical appearance, but as they got to know her, they fell in love with her personality, her awesome smiles, and her kindness. The king and queen welcomed Princess Adah into their family with open arms, and they were overjoyed to see their son so happy. They knew that Obi and Princess Adah were meant to be together, and they gave their blessing for the two to get married. With the king and queen's blessing, Prince Obi and his family, accompanied by some guards, followed Princess Adah back to her village. They met with her family, introducing themselves and asking for her hand in marriage. The king and queen were surprised to see Prince Obi and his family, but they were happy to see their daughter so in love. They welcomed Prince Obi and his family into their palace, and they began to make arrangements for the wedding. As the wedding preparations got underway, Princess Adah and Prince Obi couldn't help but feel excited and nervous. They knew that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle, and they were eager to start their new life together. And so, with the blessing of both their families, Princess Adah and Prince Obi got married in a beautiful ceremony, surrounded by their loved ones. They exchanged vows, promising to love and cherish each other for the rest of their lives. As they danced at the reception, Princess Adah and Prince Obi knew that their love would last a lifetime. They knew that they had found their soulmate in each other, and they were grateful for every moment they spent together, and so they lived happily together, ruling their kingdoms with kindness, wisdom, and love. After the wedding, Princess Adah and Prince Obi embarked on a romantic honeymoon, traveling to different parts of their kingdoms and immersing themselves in each other's cultures and traditions. Their love for each other grew stronger with each passing day, and they were inseparable. One day, while visiting a small village in Prince Obi's kingdom, they stumbled upon a group of children playing in the street. Princess Adah, with her kind and gentle heart, couldn't resist joining in on the fun. She laughed and played with the children, and Prince Obi watched her with a warm smile on his face. As they were leaving the village, one of the children ran up to Princess Adah and handed her a small bouquet of flowers. "Thank you for playing with us, Princess," the child said, looking up at her with big, shining eyes. Princess Adah was touched by the child's kindness, and she hugged her tightly. Prince Obi watched the heartwarming scene, feeling grateful to have found a wife who was not only beautiful and intelligent but also kind and compassionate. As they continued their journey, Princess Adah and Prince Obi encountered many more touching moments, meeting people from all walks of life and sharing their own stories. One evening, as they sat on a hill overlooking a serene lake, Prince Obi turned to Princess Adah with a mischievous grin. "I have a surprise for you," he said, taking her hand in his. Princess Adah's curiosity was piqued, and she closed her eyes as Prince Obi led her to a small, beautifully crafted wooden boat waiting by the lake. As they glided across the lake, Princess Adah felt a sense of peace and tranquility wash over her. She opened her eyes to find Prince Obi smiling at her, his eyes shining with love and adoration. "I wanted to give you a special gift," he said, "a gift that will show you how much I love and cherish you." Princess Adah was touched by Prince Obi's thoughtful gesture, and she hugged him tightly. "Thank you," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "This is the most beautiful gift I've ever received." As they sat together in the boat, watching the sun set over the lake, Princess Adah knew that she had found her true soulmate in Prince Obi. She knew that their love would last a lifetime, and she was grateful for every moment they spent together. The next morning, Princess Adah and Prince Obi returned to their palace, where they were greeted with a grand celebration. Their subjects had prepared a grand feast in their honor, and they spent the day eating, drinking, and dancing. As they danced together, Princess Adah leaned her head on Prince Obi's shoulder, feeling happy and content. She knew that she had found her true home, not just in the palace but in Prince Obi's arms. And as they toured across the dance floor, Prince Obi whispered in her ear, "I love you, Princess Adah." "Forever and always," Princess Adah smiled, feeling her heart overflow with love and joy. "I love you too, Prince Obi," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. As the music came to an end, Princess Adah and Prince Obi shared a tender kiss. Surrounded by their cheering subjects, they knew that their love would be the stuff of legends, a love that would be remembered for generations to come. And so, they lived happily ever after, ruling their kingdoms with kindness, wisdom, and love. Thanks for watching. Kindly share this story with your friends and loved ones, and please like, subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comment section. See you soon. Bye for now.